Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Capricorn, welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we start with our Fool energy. Welcome to that foolish energy. This could be, so many different things, right? I often think of walking. Have you ever been in the city, like a big city, right? Big buildings, lots of sounds, commotion. You are walking down a block, you turn the corner, and all of a sudden you find yourself in like a block party or, somewhere like if you've been in the United States, I don't know if they have these other places. I don't know. I haven't been to big cities in other countries really, but places like Chinatown, right? I'm from Northern California. I cannot say NorCal or somebody told me people who are really from Cali or California, they never say Cali. I mean, okay, I am from Cali and I do say it. So, but I'm from, around the Bay Area. I'm actually from Sacramento, but there is a beautiful, beautiful Chinatown in San Francisco. So the vibe is, right? You're walking down the street, you turn the corner, and all of a sudden you find yourself in this like festive, energetic, wonderful, you've been transported, type of place. And that is the feeling of the Fool, that rising excitement, that feeling of looseness and flowing and wanting to dance in the street and, all this kind of thing. The other parts of the Fool is, losing our inhibitions to some degree, but also the Fool is almost always depicted by himself. Now, he has the cat, of course, or, being chased by the animal, but often, this is a time of exploration, and that is almost always at least begun on your own. So maybe a little bit more solitary, maybe feeling a little bit, alone among the crowd, but not sad about it, right? There's not that sense of, sad clown energy. No, this is one of, okay, well, I'm going to go this little bit of the road by myself and I'm going to make the best of it, right? I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to do all the things. Okay, let's see what these tea leaves have to say. Now, I want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. If you would be so kind as to possibly consider liking or subscribing to the channel, liking the video, subscribing to the channel, or leaving a comment, especially if you have a prayer request. Put that in the comment section. My husband and I, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. His name is Paul. He's amazing. Go check him out. He also has another channel called Dove and Serpent Radio, where he's putting out these really cool, little, old-timey radio shows, which I absolutely love. When we met, I used to be really into listening to things like Nero Wolf and all these kind of scary stories, sci-fi radio shows and such. And my husband and I, Paul, we would cuddle up in bed and turn down the lights and listen to the radio shows. And, we got to get back into it. But I love that he's doing this because he has such a voice for it. So if you haven't checked out the Dove and Serpent Radio channel, go do that. It's wonderful. Let's get into the reading. All right, so immediately I see I, and then there's a key, and then there's you. Now, I don't think the key is like I'm keying your car, right? God forbid, please, nobody be keying cars or Hopefully, you know, I say a little prayer here against the evil eye. No king. But I do feel like the key actually represents love in its highest form, right? Agape. That belovedness with the divine. That thing that sparks from belief, faith, intuition, knowing. And maybe your knowing is that you don't know anything at all, right? But whatever it is, whatever this happening, this development in your life, it has led you to a place where your heart is open. And I feel like there has been a sense of really working towards a deeper self-love. I think that you're really coming into this realization. Now, I want to tell you why I think that. Because when I started the reading, I felt very clearly that there is an underlying, maybe anxiousness, but anger, a rising resentment. Okay? Now, I do feel like this is something that you are experiencing, not somebody experiencing this about you, feeling this way about you. No, I think that you have had some kind of situation come up. And I'm looking over here. We have the house. You can see, let me get my stick. The little house here, okay? We have some animals in the yard. One here, one here. We also have two people over here. We have a person here. We have another humanoid form over here. But this one with the arms up like this reminds me of the goddess, the mother goddess. We also have that very kind of yawny, I know it's just a line, but in this place, it to me represents this kind of yawny energy. Okay, so that is the reproductive energy, that is fertility, that is creativity, that is the middle goddess, the mother goddess, the life bringer, right? The nurturer. Now, I feel like at the home, in your domestic life, there has been some upheaval. There seems to be a sense of chaos, almost kind of a feeling of nobody is talking to each other, really. Now, I don't think that there's aggressive animosity, like slamming doors and stomping around or, stuff like that. But I feel like it's just gone quiet. Now, I do think that something has been revealed. And I feel that it's serious enough that I feel like you're considering changing your living circumstances. That might be separation, that might be divorce, that might be, wanting to live by yourself, or maybe you have roommates or you live with family or whatever. But I do feel like something came to light. And this is where, again, we hit on another side of that full energy is that, yeah, sometimes when this comes up, it is a time where there's a significant blow to the ego, to the persona, to your personality, because somebody that you love, who you have trusted, and I see we have the dog right here, has lied to you, misguided you, misled you, omitted something. Okay. Now, I feel like this is something that brings a lot of anger into your heart. Now, I don't know what the lie is. I don't know what they did or didn't do. But I feel like for you, you are at the point where it's just kind of like, I am tired of being treated like an idiot, right? I'm tired of people in my life thinking they can walk all over me. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact, Capricorn, that so often when things are happening around you, especially if they are like ultra emotional, I feel like it's not so much that you close down, but you're more of a kind of stoic being. You let things unfold. You don't necessarily feel the instinct or the drive to jump right in there and get involved. You'll watch and see how things are going. Now, I think some people in your life, because you don't always react, they feel like maybe this is a pass for them, that they can act any old way. They can do whatever. They can forget to tell you something serious or, fib to you, and they'll smooth it over later on, right? Well, I don't think so. I think that you have had it. I think that you're just absolutely done with all of that. And so I see this as being a place where you're standing up for yourself. Now I don't mean that this is like the end of the world. This could have been something, and listen, this is, if you've been married, if you've had a significant relationship, lived with somebody over time, right? That so often the arguments aren't about like, oh, you're out here running around with other guys or, that kind of thing. The argument is like, who the heck, and I'm not using that word usually, who the heck, left I'm trying to think of what would melt, left the thing of ice cream out, right? Who the heck didn't throw their garbage away? They just left it on the table. I know, you're raising your eyebrows at me. These are the things. These are the little things that add up, and they end up being that thing that you just can't do it anymore. I'm done. So I feel like you're in a place where, something needs to change. Right? Now, I don't know if you're leaving. I don't know if they're leaving. I don't know, what the plan is to move forward. But I think that you already, obviously, have been thinking about it. So you probably know, to some degree, what you would like to see happening, where you want to go, what you want to do. But I do feel like this next cycle of time is so much about getting out of this cycle, this loop of back and forth, this loop of, just feeling, I think, kind of a bit of a burnout from your domestic life, a bit of just being frustrated, trying your very best not to let it set in as a resentment. So, this is real life. This is the kind of stuff that we're all dealing with here and there. Now we have the number 55. 55. So we have a puppy or a dog. Here are the eyes. This is the nose and then down to the mouth. It looks kind of angry. Here's the ear. You can see the little ear here. So again with the fives, we also have, it looks like it's TO2 or 1, TO1, TO2, maybe TOT. So we also have right over here a person. You can see the long leg and foot. So I feel like this is a tall person, notably so. We have that angry looking dog, crying even. It looks like that dog thing from Never Ending Story. the eyes, the little nose, the smile. We also have a deer. Or maybe it's a rat. Look, with the little nose and the little whiskers, it looks like a rat. The eyes, the little nose. Okay, so we have a rat. We have we have the dog that's angry. And then it turns into with the angry eyes. Then it turns into the chill dog. Okay, so I do feel like there is somebody in your life, maybe a friend, maybe it's a family member, like you're best friends with your mom or something. But being around them is always the thing that like helps ground you. So lean into that relationship because that is super important for you. That's what's going to help you get through some of your decision making. And we have the name, it looks like H, like Han or Hannah. Right down in here. Han, Hun, it could be Hun. We also have, let's see, the number 131. We have an older man in your life. You have an older man in your life who I think it feels like this is a person that punished you. Somebody who helped raise you, maybe a grandfather. And I feel like using corporal punishment, so physical punishment at times. I'm guessing that you're maybe a little older. You know, I don't know. I don't think many people use corporal punishment anymore. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really asked, I guess. I guess it's not really like a thing I ask people. I know we don't. We definitely don't. But let's see. So I think this is something that really affected you. I think there was a great amount of love. We have a person down here who's holding like a drill right here, like a power, those power drills. Now, drilling a hole, we also have the number 15, okay? It also, the 3 down here, so this one looks like 3, maybe 30, maybe 301, okay? But we have the guy with the drill. So to me, it's like this person in your life who was very handy, very like busy, always had projects, but also like no room for flexibility about like rules and regulations, right? I feel like everything was by the book with them. And I feel that for you, I mean, it was helpful in that maybe it helped you learn a routine, how to be serious about the things that you start, getting through the whole process, finishing them, that kind of stuff, which is important. But I also feel like this is something that no matter how much you love and felt connected to this person in those moments where they could betray you in a way of hurting you physically, right? There seems to be a loss of trust. And I think this is something that has affected you throughout your life. Because it is a feeling of, why do the people I love keep hurting me? Why do the people that I count on, the closest people to me in my life, why are these the ones that betray me? And I think all of us have been in this position at one point or another. And I feel like for you, this is something that is very much tied to these present things that you're going through, because I think it brings up old emotions. It brings up these situations that maybe you don't think about like ever anymore. But when something happens within the family with somebody who, you should be able to trust and rely on, and you do love them and all of these things, but they betray you in this very fundamental way. Now, maybe it's not that they have tried to punish you, of course, hopefully not, anything like that, but I do feel like this is a sore spot for you. And I also feel like there is an element of deep shame and embarrassment around this. And I think that's, again, that Fool energy coming up. And this is more of that shadowed side of the Fool. So I think that this is something, if you are willing, if it is something that is not going to be more harmful for you in the long run, maybe this is a good place to do some contemplative work. Maybe some journaling. But I think that at the end of it all, there's just this real feeling of, I just want peace in my life. I want to feel secure as I can. I want an environment that does not stress me out. And I just want to get along. As simple as that. But, if you obviously have a family or have lived with people or, have relationships, not just romantic, but all kinds of relationships, that they're difficult at times. They are complex and nuanced and, all the things. So I think, though, for you, it's just this sense of, I need to come to a place of walking out of this feeling of hurt, but also I think that there are bursts of just kind of, well, like I said, anger, shame, feeling embarrassed. It's like if everybody is told something, but they're like, oh, don't tell, you, so-and-so, don't tell them because they'll be upset or they won't like that or, whatever it is, whatever reason they leave you out of it. And then you finally find out, which inevitably, right, you will, if more than one person has a secret, that thing's probably going to come out sometime, right? So I do feel like it's like that feeling of them finding out, oh, okay, so everybody's known. So now I'm the fool. So now I'm the one that's the joke. And it does. It feels like that at times, doesn't it? If you've ever had a situation like that, it can be very hurtful. And I feel like that's kind of the energy. It is this sense of, not really understanding why did you go out of your way to keep this from me or lie to me? Okay, all of that said, beautiful. So we have the moon, but the moon also as a place of the campfire. Okay, so that beacon of light. Now, it is on the night side. So there is some amount of illusion. There's some amount of dreaminess, some amount of distortion. Okay, over here we have the wolf. You can see. Let me get closer. There you go, the wolf. And then up here, it looks like we have maybe an indigenous person. I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but I'm allowed to talk about it because I also am Native and Choctaw. I don't know. I have to qualify that. Of course, anybody can envision that this would be a Native American person. But, it's interesting. Here's an interesting thing about any of this kind of divination with tea leaves or grains or coffee or sand or, whatever, clouds, whatever you are scrying. So often, a lot of the stuff that is in our psyche, the things that we know and understand, that's what we can recognize in our readings. That's what we can see in these formations. So it's so important, if you do ever start to read tea leaves or have an interest in scrying, to familiarize yourself not just with symbols, not just with, overtly religious, occult, or, spiritual concepts, but really all of the things. Mathematics and, the sciences, looking at art, experiencing art, making art, doing practical things, learning skills, mythologies, fiction, watching reality TV, whatever it is. The more that you experience or witness, the further your brain or your mind can conceive of, situations and kinds of people and attributes and whatever, because you have seen more and more and more. And so to me, the thing that makes a strong reader is somebody who has lived life, somebody who continues to live life, somebody who is impassioned by things. You might be a person that is prone to going down a Wikipedia rabbit hole or a YouTube rabbit hole, right? Where you're just consuming lots of information and, one thing after another leads you to all these interests and things you want to research. That makes a wonderful reader because there's a hunger. There's a hunger. So anyways, that's my little spiel about read widely, watch lots of movies, listen to music, look at art, go outside, move yourself around, get some fresh air, look at some books, look at magazines, listen to the audio books, go places you've never been without using GPS. Just get out there, feel something, see something. Get into the flow of life, and that's the most powerful tool to assist us in our magic. So we have the wolf, we have the kind of indigenous North American being over here. By the campfire, by the moon, there's also the arrow, which represents love. And so with this energy, right now is the full moon. I saw it over the lake last night. Oh my gosh, she was gorgeous, gorgeous. But I do feel like you're having strong visions, strong dreams, busy, full of all kinds of scenarios and potent. They're following you into your day. When you wake up, you still have the feelings, the emotions that you had in the dream. There is a guide of some kind. I don't think that this is you like a person showing up in your dreams, but not an animal either. I feel like this is more like symbols. There's a string of motifs and synchronicities. So here's the part where I mentioned you should get yourself a little notebook or a piece of, paper or your phone or whatever. Start keeping track of the symbols, the numbers, the words, the, feelings, colors, impressions, whatever. Write it all down. Because later on, you might start to see that emerging pattern where you might forget some of the details if you don't write it down. So I think that will be important, but I do feel like this is a visitation that will be leading you into a next rite of passage, a new chapter of life. Now, I see we have an eye. It looks like some tears coming down. And it looks like a division sign right here, like the line with the dots. Okay, so a sense of trying to avoid deep division within your family. I think that's a big part of it. This other up here, it looks like the wolf in front of a sword. So the Ace of Swords. So to me, it really is like waking up in your life and realizing I have to really do some deep self-work to get this family back in line. And I'm not saying it's like, oh, all the problems are your fault. You got to do all the interior work. But I think, we begin to understand if we want to make changes in our life, we have to work on ourselves. I don't care if if it was caused by somebody else or the environment you're in or the job you have or whatever it is. This discomfort arises because there's something within us that we need to look at, that we need to work on, that we need to figure out. And maybe that figuring out is that, like, I don't need to be around this. It's time to get on with myself, But I do feel this is a time of a lot of emotional turbulence for you. Number 69 is our first lucky number. But this is like the push that's really going to bring you back into a place of power. Yeah, because you're proactive. You're not going to sit around and just watch this happen. Number 5, you have been notified, right? And you are on it. Number 62. 69, 5, 62 are lucky numbers. Now we're going to end with our water blessings affirmation cards. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip on through and stop where it feels right. And it says, number 30, youth, beauty. As you are a match with your joy, you will discover hidden pearls within your being. As you are a match with joy, you will discover hidden pearls within your being. There you go. There you go. All right. Well, Capricorn, I want to tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for being here with me today. It's always such a pleasure to be able to bring these messages to you. I need a drink of water. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness. My ears are all plugged up. I'm wondering if my sinuses, we were at a campfire last night. We went and hung out with some people and they were camping, and we went and grilled and sat by the fire. And now I feel like I'm all plugged up. So, but yeah. I don't know where we were, but it's a pleasure. I feel so lucky to be able to do this work with you. So if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, it really helps out the channel. And I have to say it for the algo. It loves those words so much. And also, if you have a prayer request, you can put that in the comment section or email it to ulaishere@gmail.com. All right. I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk soon. Good night.